Hi, I just thought I'd do another video. It must be over 6 months now since I last did an update on this channel. As I'm sure many of you all know, or maybe you're just watching this video for the first time, I had H.pylori, Helicobacter pylori in my stomach. It was really hard to get diagnosed. It took literally years to get diagnosed. I lost a ridiculous amount of weight, over 2 to 3 stone in weight, disappeared. I looked like I was on death's door basically. I went to see a gastroenterologist. He was extremely concerned. They did quite a fast endoscopy. The first time they didn't find anything, probably because it was just the beginning stages of it. It hadn't done much damage. The second time, around a year later, they found quite bad gastritis and an ulcer. And it wasn't really any surprise to me because every day I was getting terrible burning in my stomach. I couldn't eat anything. Even if I was eating enough calories, I still wasn't gaining weight. There was a lot of malabsorption, vitamin B12 deficiency, vitamin D deficiency, terrible joint pains, headaches, fatigue. You name it, I probably had it as a symptom. In my particular case, all my health problems started after I was taking antibiotics. That was for a different, totally unrelated matter. And it just seemed to me that antibiotics weren't the best choice for me because I'd been on them a long time. I was on antibiotics for over 2 years straight. This is for something else, totally, completely different. And then I had another month's course of an antibiotic called tetracycline, and that really set things back for me. I lost all this weight. It was the biggest mistake I ever made, really, in regards to my health. And so when I found out it was H.pylori and antibiotics were apparently the only option to eradicate the bacteria, as well as taking the antacids and acid blockers to heal the ulcer, I didn't see it as a viable option. It's as if antibiotics were the cause, so surely they can't be the solution. So I started looking into other things. I've not always been a person who was into natural or ignore doctors. I'm into more the natural things. But in this particular case, it was a must for me because I just couldn't see myself taking antibiotics again, particularly such strong antibiotics. But this isn't to say that antibiotics don't work. They have quite a high success rate. If you're okay with antibiotics, take them because they do most likely work. I'm on a Facebook forum now. I'll probably post it on there actually. I know there's quite a few on there who took different therapies with antibiotics, and they've worked for some people, for others they haven't, and they've chose alternatives. There's other alternatives as well. Mastic gum, that wasn't very. I did try mastic gum before, the Matula Herbal Formula, obviously, and mastic gum for me, it seemed to give me quite bad stomach spasms. It wasn't so much stomach ache. It was like how to explain it? It's like contractions almost, like a really griping sort of pain, and that was quite a low dose as well, and it needed to be a much higher dose for the general dosage for eradication. So I just didn't think that was something that I wanted to use personally. Matula tea tends to, a lot of people tend to think, well, maybe not because of the price. But if you work it out really, if you're in the UK and you can use the NHS or anywhere else where you might have a National Health Service, obviously you could likely receive the antibiotics for free. But if you were paying for your treatment, antibiotics would probably be more expensive, and mastic gum in the long run, for the amount of time you might have to use it, would probably be more expensive as well. I chose to use Matula tea because of the ease of use, the fact that you can just drink it. I think it's quite a while ago now, every morning and every night. And at first, pretty much all the way through the course of the tea treatment, I didn't see hardly any improvement, if I'm honest. Very, very slight improvement, a little bit. The burning stopped. Now, during that time as well, I already had a really clean diet. I already avoided gluten, nuts, dairy and fish. I've introduced nuts ever so slightly because I needed to gain some weight, which I have, but I'll get onto that later. I needed to gain some weight. Nuts, snacks throughout the day, they can contain a lot of calories, almonds, things like that. So my nut allergy was the least serious. Dairy and gluten I'll always avoid, and I may introduce fish again because obviously fish has its benefits as well. So yeah, I've got all these food allergies. I forgot to mention that I've been tested by several different doctors. All the tests came back the same, and I'm due to see an immunologist soon also who deals with allergies and things like that, so we'll see where that goes. But after the tea, about a few weeks later to a month later, I've noticed the burning really started to subside. Another thing I cut out, I read black pepper once was good for like very antibacterial, things like that. I cut that out because whilst it might be antibacterial, if you have a stomach ulcering gastritis, black pepper's not a good idea, or it wasn't for me. So I definitely cut that out, and I think that helps a little bit. And then I just got the impression that whatever was holding me back beforehand had disappeared because healing it seemed to take place. Now I still get burning now, but it's a really long road for recovery. At one point I couldn't eat anything. Every day, terrible burning and pain and nausea, no matter what I ate. And even if I did eat anything, it just wasn't enjoyable. And it was really getting me down at one point. I was quite depressed with this. I didn't take anything for depression or anything like that, but it was getting me down. I didn't really mention this to the doctor because I was more concerned with getting better physically rather than focusing on anything like that. But it wasn't so much the pain that was causing me to feel so down. It was more the fact that the pain never went away, and it was such an ongoing drag that every day to wake up in pain, there was no way out of the madness. I tried every day looking on the internet, and it drives you insane in the end. That's another thing I wouldn't recommend to do. As hard as it may be, even when you're in the worst situation, the best thing to do, instead of reading about all different things, just try one thing at a time. Instead of reading, you go on a forum and this person says, no, it didn't work for me, and then that might put you off, so you look into something else. Honestly, just try things. Obviously nothing's ridiculous, but try. If there's something that you think might help you, just try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. In regards to the Matula tea, for me, honestly, it was a lifesaver. Or up to now, it has been anyway. I still get this, like I say, the slight burning, but you can probably tell if you go back to my first video, as well as having a ridiculous what looks like an afro. I was much skinnier than I am now. Since taking the Matula tea, I've managed to gain a stone in weight, which is great. I still want to gain a little bit more because I'm still technically just slightly underweight, but I'm much better. It gives you much more confidence. I feel better. So for the price I paid for the tea, I can't remember, but it was like 120 pounds or something. If I'd have known it would have done this, I'd have paid £1,000 if I'd have had it. But it was really has worked wonders for me. Without sounding like a salesman or something, because that's definitely not where I'm coming from here. Matula Tea themselves contacted me because they saw my videos, and they're saying that it can provide some support for you, and we're wondering how you got on, and I thought that was great as well. So you can clearly see they have great intentions, and yeah, it just really worked wonders for me. And I'm gaining weight slowly but surely. It's still very difficult to gain weight. I'm sure a lot of people have. I know some people actually gain weight when they have H.pylori. You can go either way, but for me, I lost a lot of weight, and obviously being a man as well, it can get you down quite a lot. And but yeah, Matula Tea really did work wonders for me. Like I say, I'm slowly gaining weight back now, but it's very difficult with all these allergies. You can't have milk, you can't have certain breads, and all different things. Even nuts are a struggle. And so I'm using things like, in order to gain weight, small amounts usually of each, and I've had to introduce all these things quite slowly. It's been a long process. Coconut milk, you 200 millilitres of that, I think about 300 calories. It's quite difficult to drink, 'cause it's quite creamy and thick, but banana in with that, either some strawberries or blueberries, blend that up, you're talking around 400 calories. I'll have that in between meals. Almonds, there's almond muffins I made actually, and they were in, the name of it, I'll never remember it. There's an SCD, the specific carbohydrate diet. I do not follow that diet, but there was an almond muffin recipe in there that I found really helpful. It was gluten-free, dairy-free, gluten-free, lactose-free, and everything else free, but basically using almond flour, you see, that's the only thing that'd be in there is nuts. And that was, I think there's about 200 to 300 calories per muffin, depending on how big you made them, so that's another thing that's helped me. I found gluten-free, dairy-free muesli bars. If you're in the UK, I purchased those from Sainsbury's. There's no nuts in them either, as far as I'm aware. There is seeds though. But yeah, just to gain weight and feel a little bit better. I'm still trying to heal the ulcer, which maybe the ulcer isn't there now. Maybe it's just gastritis, because it's much better. Keep gaining weight and hopefully get past this boundary, because for years it was a really big boundary. You know, it really put my life on hold. I'm back in college now and everything like that. But you know, for a good few years it stopped my life, my education, everything. So, you know, a lot of doctors, when you talk about H. pylori, they talk about it as if it's nothing. Take these antibiotics, it will go away. It's not as simple as that for a lot of people. So I feel your pain, so to speak, if you're still in the position I was. But stay strong. You know, try your best to find the right treatment. And I hope you're all going to recover soon, because it is possible. I was one of those people trapped in a tornado of, you know, despair. And I managed to step out of it a little bit, and I'm still on the road to recovery. So, knock on wood, things will stay positive, and things will only get better from here on out. If anybody's got any questions, because I've probably missed a fair few things, just let me know, and I'll be sure to try and reply. I'll do my best. Thanks for watching, and see you later.